I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Good morning, guys. Thank you guys for coming to the show once again. Happy Wednesday, is it? I can't keep up with the days. It's going too fast. Happy Wednesday, guys. Like I said, thank you for coming out. Today we're talking about fairness. I'm more than certain everybody's heard the phrase "treat others how you like to be treated." I feel like that's something we're taught as children, or at least I was. I don't know. I grew up in a very religious household, so I was always told this phrase all the time. So it was like, "What's up, Shayna? Good morning." It was like embedded into my brain, if anything. So I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Okay, good. Yeah. So with that in mind, that phrase is trying your best to be. Good morning. It's trying your best to be fair to everyone. You know what I'm saying? And understanding what being fair minded really means. Of course, everyone has their definition of good and bad, or right or wrong, or what's fair, and that's cool. But I feel like we have a good gist of what that truly means when we get down to it, or what that truly means when we have to do what's right, or when we have to stick to our morals and values, and that's what helps you to justify, or justification is being fair. What helps you to justify different situations or your personality traits, is having a moral compass. And that's one of the main things to do when you're trying to develop a sense of being fair minded, or even getting close to knowing what that means. So, what are the qualities of a fair minded person? What does it mean to be fair minded? There are a couple of things that you can kind of narrow down and just kind of make mental notes of. And of course, just because, we talk about it doesn't mean that everybody's going to take this and, do it today or something, but maybe by us speaking out about it, maybe it could help you guys to kind of wrap your minds around it and think, okay, well, I never thought about life from that perspective. Maybe that can open up some doors and help you guys to go about your day a little bit better, you know what I mean? Or be a better person somehow. So rationality, being rational about situations, being clear and sensible with your thinking and your decision making skills, examining things from a neutral standpoint, being remaining objective because you want to do the right thing, not getting your emotions too involved, because it's based mainly on, like I said, that rationality. That's something that you really care about. And you want to make sure that you look at it from almost like a third person perspective, where you're on the outside looking in. Take yourself out of the situation altogether and weigh the odds, do the pros and cons. And like I said, look at things from both sides before forming a solid opinion. And that's something that's very hard to do because, like I said, we're human. And we're out of trouble, and that can make us do reckless things and make reckless decisions and miss out on a lot of opportunities. We're being emotional or overly emotional. You don't see the bigger picture. You don't see the future of your opinions, your perspective in that moment. All you see is, okay, I feel this, and that's what I'm going to go with. And that's not how you have to be all the time, or that's not how you should be all the time. You know what I mean? Because it's just a step-by-step process. Like I said, it's not something that just because you hear it, you're going to do it overnight, or it's going to become second nature to you. No, it's something that you have to practice, just like anything in life. Just like I said, when I first started talking about how we grow up a certain way, and it takes time for you to adapt to those principles, like the treat others how you like to be treated. I didn't know what that meant right away, you know what I mean? But my family had to instill that in me, just like we have to instill these principles into ourselves and get a better understanding of them. And then once you practice something, it becomes more like second nature. It's like muscle memory. The more you do something, the more used to you are of it. And then, it's like you don't even think about it. You just do it. So before you know it, you'll be fair about things, and you'll be able to look at it from a neutral standpoint, slowly but surely, and that's the point. Slowly but surely. You don't want to rush the process because you want to make sure you fully understand. And like I said, remain objective.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
You don't want to see anything different. They're not trying to learn or go beyond the situation. They just know what they know. They're stuck in their ways, and that's it. And that's not remaining objective, because you have personal biases, and of course, society is already biased. They already have certain things in mind, certain standards for us to live by, and it makes it difficult already. And I get it. It's natural to have biases, of course, because you're human. You're going to have your own way of believing in things and looking at things and standpoints, whatever, how you want to look at it. And a lot of those things are justified. I'm not going to sit here and act like they aren't, because people go through different things. People have different experiences with people and interactions, however you want to look at it. But the point of this is to remain objective, because you don't want to jump the gun. Like I said, you don't want to make assumptions or jump to conclusions right away, because you could be flat out wrong and you won't even know it, because you're so set in your ways in that moment. You didn't even stop to think about what's really happening. You didn't stop to absorb the situation to detail. Details are everything. There's one person, the other person, then the truth. I was like, wait, hold on. But what if they're both telling the truth? There's always more than one side to a story. And of course, some people fluff their version up and all that because they want to look like the good person. And I know a lot of us have done that. Don't act like you haven't. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Well, no, it's not, because you're lying. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to not look like a bad person, and I get it sometimes, but a lie is a lie. You know what I mean? And that's not being fair. You never want to lie about stuff. You always want to be honest and open minded, and like I said, just be transparent. That's the best way to do it. That way, just always tell the truth. Because you can never go wrong that way. You're covering all the bases when you tell the truth, so you never have, oh well, do people believe me or not? Doesn't matter if they believe you, because you told the truth. And that's, you can go to sleep at night peacefully knowing at least you said what you had to say, and you said it the right way, and you did what needed to be done, and you didn't take the easy way out and fluff up the story or lie. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, rationality, remaining objective, and then of course touching on being open-minded as well. Open-minded people are more tolerant because they don't come from a place of discrimination. And I think that's why it's so hard for a lot of people in society today to be open minded, because they grew up in such a discriminatory way, where there are certain things that your parents have told you about people, and you've made an assumption about certain backgrounds, certain cultures, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I always think it's good to be fair, especially in that regard, when you're trying to get to know new people, or you're just trying to get to know new cultures. You know what I'm saying? Because I keep saying, you know what I'm saying. Dang, I'm trying to break the habit. Um, because that's important, and that's what's going to help based on bias. You know what I mean? And that's what bias is. Objective enough to hear it, you rationalize it, you understand it, and you just take it in. That's all it requires you to do. That doesn't mean that you have to say, oh, okay, I hear what you're saying, now I just fully agree, and that's it, I'm gonna just throw my opinion out the window altogether. No, you can still stick to your opinion. You can still be stable in your mindset in that moment and stay true to what you said. It's just that you're not shutting the other person down altogether. And then that's what a lot of us do when we're closed minded. We don't even allow the other person the chance to speak, or we don't even want to see their perspective, because it's too hard to even wrap your mind around it. Like I said, that stubbornness gets you in trouble. It really does. But like I said, just because you're open minded doesn't mean that you're falling back or you're being weak and you're giving into other people's opinions and their idealisms. Not at all. You don't have to do that. Just hear them out, be a human being, and listen to another human being. That's all that's required of you in life. And that's what's being fair. Listening to each other, and making each other feel acknowledged, and not ignoring each other feel less than. And I appreciate you for being real. I appreciate you for being transparent and being fair, and then sharing your perspective. And it's gonna happen one day. So don't ever close yourself off to the world like that. Don't ever keep your mouth shut. If you have something to say and you know that it's going to make a difference, speak out on it. Do something about it.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Be proactive. Never stop being proactive, especially if you're trying to work towards the betterment of a community or society, however you want to look at it. Your people, fight for your people, fight for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. No matter who acknowledges it or not. At least you're being fair to you and you're being fair to the cause or whatever you're fighting for. Um, and then of course being reasonable, like I said, being human and doing things with a voice of reason. And we know what that voice of reason is: intuition, your gut feeling. You have those moments where you could be really mad at somebody and you're in a full-blown argument, and you know that they're saying something that's true, and you don't want to be stubborn and be like, oh, whatever, like, you know what I mean, and blow them off. No, you want to be reasonable and take in what that person is truly saying so that you can learn in that situation, because that's the whole point. We want to learn in life. And when you shut things down and you become unreasonable, you're not allowing yourself the room to grow, learn, or advance in life. And you're staying in a box, you're being closed minded. And that's not something you want to do. They don't know any better. Maybe no one ever showed them any better. Nobody ever cared about them to give them a new direction or a better direction they're being, or maybe nobody ever corrected them on certain situations.
I'm getting blown now.